it was only 3 or 4 days before you guys were set to go to Silver Rock when Nara began experiencing what could only amount to be some nasty nightmares. You saw this beautiful verdant swampland as these vines began to crawl all over it, sucking the life from everything they touched. And as the plant life wilted and died, you hear the punctuation of a screaming pig. Night after night, you'd have this same vision. You tried talking to Daenerys about it, but this wasn't a dream. Not in any traditional sense. The only answer you could possibly find was that it was your connection with Mother Death sending you these visions. The only swamp you knew of that had a pig of any description were the homeland that Asmo grew up in. So along with him, you began your trek as Wolfgang and Daenerys headed to Silver Rock to set up the city. You find yourself in the swamp. Its air thick and heavy, and the smell of stale water and putrid rot hangs in the air. Asmo, to you, this is a not too pleasant reminder of the area you ran from as a child with your brother.
Asmo just goes, ugh, the smell of this place.
Nara breathed in deeply.
It's nice.
There's something to be said about the swamp. Something old always said about a swamp being the cycle of life incarnate. Both life and death simultaneously, pungent and gross at the same time. God, I hate this place.
I think it's perspective. Because honestly, this smells pretty good to me.
The eyes of various fauna stare at you from just beneath the surface of the tepid waters. Some alligators just floating, remarking, not making any move toward you.
Ever since I saw that video of the alligator, its head was floating, but the rest of its body was completely vertical. All I can think about is them just doing that.
Yeah, he's just chilling, just vibing, man.
Legs crossed.
On what dry land you can see, and you try to stick to dry land where you can, because walking through the swamp is none too pleasant. The waters can go from being ankle deep to knee deep within a few steps of each other.
Which is totally just an Asmo problem since Nara's floating on the pixie stick.
Indeed.
Asmo will use trees sometimes to avoid getting his feet wet. Just
You're doing great, sweetie.
It's not long before each of you can go ahead and make me a perception check. The both of yous, that is.
I need to get my character sheet out.
What? 25.
Wait, hold on. Everything's different now.
What?
I forgot.
Whoa.
Has
I forgot
everything
everything's
changed?
different. Everything's changed and different. Not my page, but like the setup of everything. I forgot how nice it is now.
All right, perception when you get a chance.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. Awestruck by Roll20's update.
Yeah. 23.
23. All right. Both of you don't really have much of an issue noticing this as while traveling through the swamp, keeping your eyes out for any hostile animals, you notice a tree that is like withered. Its bark very much like deprived of life, and the waters around it appear to be almost kind of blackened with rot. And as you get a little closer to it, having remarked it, you notice these kind of writhing roots that have wrapped themselves within the branches and roots of this swamp tree.
Wait, there's a tree that's branches and roots are writhing, or there is something writhing on a tree?
Yeah, sorry, that was my.
There is something writhing on the tree, and what is writhing appears to be plant-like roots, but they don't look to belong to this tree.
Whoa!
Oh.
The heck is that?
I don't know, touch it.
As just I do we have a Jim from the office look? Is that a response?
Asmo looks to the hard crocodile.
No, actually, you know what? Not Jim from the office. It's got to be someone a little bit more. It's got to be Ben from Parks and Rec. It's
All right,
much more-
you make eye contact with a nearby crocodile and give him that face.
Yeah, there we go. That's best response to that. Like,
Crocodile blinks and begins to swim away.
What does your magic tell you?
What is that?
I don't know what it is. This is where Janir would pop out something. I know. This is a plant of magical origin. No, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that.
Oh my god. Fine.
Just don't touch it.
What do Nara's magic eyes see?
If you wish to make an arcane check to determine whether this root is magical, go ahead. If you wish to determine its nature, give me a nature check.
Let's see what type of magical thingbob it is, if there's magic involved.
since I
Arcana check?
15?
I'm gonna do a nature check because Asmo lived here. He should come on. He
Maybe no.
I will give it to you with advantage.
Thanks,
Thank
Nick.
God.
Thank you for that, Nick. That's a 13.
All right. Nara, whatever is grappling this tree, the root that appears to be doing so, it appears to be sapping the nutrients from it. It does appear somewhat magical in nature. Based on the fact that it is a plant, you're guessing it is druidic.
Okay.
And Asmo, what you can get out of this is whatever root this is, it is not native to this swamp.
That is not natural.
Well,
Magic's afoot. This is not a normal vine. Vines are like insidious like this, but not like moving like that. So this is clearly.
I love how
This is-
you ask if my magic sees anything, and then you know already.
Well, I know it's invasive, but I didn't know if it was magical or not.
Well, it's
You
eating that
act-
tree.
Well, clearly. Okay. So is it magically eating the tree, or is it naturally doing it?
I don't know. Why don't you go look at it?
Why don't you look with your magical eyes?
Oh my. Fine. I will.
That's
Nara
great.
will
Why don't
approach
you
the tree.
God damn it. Actually, she was
All right.
floating here all day. God.
You approach the tree. As you get closer, you notice that the root itself, it's kind of like this swamp tree is kind of one of those willows where it doesn't really have like an outward barky surface. It's more of like a series of binds that have twisted themselves to turn into just like a large tree. This root, this invasive root, has woven itself within the root structure of this tree, almost kind of like prying it apart at places to get deeper into its roots.
Would you say this is? Would you say the pattern of how it's doing it would be something of like just like a normal vine wrapping around something, or does it seem like something that was like had intelligent thought when it was doing it?
From a nature perspective, it seems to act kind of like a creeping vine. You know how those vines will kind of climb up a lattice outside of a house, just kind of
That's
swirling and spinning into whatever spaces it can fit into? Kind of like that, but with a bit more force. Like if it found a gap, it will push its way in there.
It's almost like it sounds almost like a less giant version of the vines from Jumanji. Okay,
Kind of, yeah.
there we go. It's always an equivalency.
So yeah, you notice this lattice work of the living vines and the dying tree. Further, as you kind of like,
What color are the vines?
they appear to be kind of a, kind of like a deep, deep burnt orange.
Oh, okay. That's why they stand out a bit more.
Yeah,
I know what kind of burnt orange. I like almost like a rust color.
kind of, yeah. And as you circle the tree, you notice amongst the roots, as they are clearly coming from a direction, you see that they have actually tangled themselves amongst various fauna as well. You see that there is a almost mummified alligator kind of like caught up in the twists and turns of these vines as they head away from the tree.
Don't touch the vines.
Oh,
Asmo,
hey,
Asmo.
Asmo?
What?
This thing is kind of like eating stuff. Like...
Yeah, I know.
Asmo's just pointing at the alligator.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Don't touch that. That's not good.
I want to,
Don't.
but I think it leads somewhere. So let's just go to the root of it.
Is this what your dream is telling you? Okay, find the colored roots and follow it to the. She's moving. She's actually.
All right.
She, As she floats off.
I don't know. I told you everything that I was dreaming about.
I know you did.
The roots do sink below the surface of the water at places. So I would ask that you give me a survival check to try to follow them back to their source.
Okay.
Asmo can make it with advantage, this being his home
5.
turf.
18.
Yay!
All right, Asmo, you know that touching these vines probably not the best idea given what you have seen. So you're doing your best to kind of keep your eye at it. Following it under the water is difficult, but you're able to, whenever you lose it under the water, you look around for another dying tree or dying plant and begin to just kind of go off in that direction. Appears to be your best method. You do find that anything that this vine kind of gets its hands on, it saps the life out of. You actually find a patch that goes over dry land, and all of the grass and plant life around it, where it's kind of weaving in and out of the mud and dirt, has died and wilted. As you continue to follow this path, you hear a commotion up ahead. Two voices kind of ringing out as the clanging of swords and the sloshing of water and this most putrid smell of rot and decay that almost kind of like demands that you stay away from it.
That is some stank. I kind of want to know what it is.
What? Oh my god. Oh god, I think I know what that is.
How are you not curious?
Because it reminds me of something, and I think I know what it is.
Is that the smell that Asmo remembers smelling a long time ago when he smelled?
Not quite, because just ahead, as you each kind of get more of a glimpse as you're traveling, you see what appears to be a birdman and a large snapping turtle man doing battle with a large stinky plant, and many of these vines are ebbing out in all directions. And at this point, Lor Gal, would you like to describe yourself and what you are currently doing to attack this plant? Or actually, give me.
Wait, gotta play the theme music.
Yeah, give me.
Myself and Nara gotta suddenly look at the camera. God, goodness.
All right, give me a initiative roll, the both of you.
2.
All right, all right.
What do you want? I'm a turtle.
I know. And Wizen, I can't hear you if you're talking, Connor. You might be muted.
That would be because I was muted.
All right, Wizen got a 16. Wizen, would you like to describe yourself and then tell us what you're doing to this plant?
Absolutely. Wizen is a shoe-billed stork Aarakocra. He has eyes the color of US dollar bills. He's wearing a rather fancy-looking bright pink robe with metal studs lining the shoulders. He's wearing some jewelry around his neck, very fancy padded leather chest piece, and brown canvas pants. He is wielding 2 beautiful scimitars, and
Oh, excellent. He's got dual scimitar build. That's good to hear.
as he is battling this creature, it's almost like a dance to him. So elegant and flowing are his motions with the swords. It's very transfixing.
All right. So, what are you doing to this creature? This plant that has been consuming things around your neighborhood.
Politically disagreeing.
I am going to rush in. I am going to swoop in through the air using my fly speed. And I'm going to swing at it with my scimitars.
All right. Swing away.
I'll swing once with Echo. That is a 27 to hit.
That'll in fact hit.
Mm-hmm. With my sneak attack, that will be a combined 13 damage. And as I am a swashbuckler, I do not need to have another person flanking or even need advantage. I just need to be alone with whatever I'm attacking for my sneak attack to go off.
Well, that is working. That is working quite well for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then your second slice.
Second slice with Grass Cutter will be a 25 to hit.
A very appropriate name, as that also hits.
Ignore the sneak attack on that one, but that will be another 10 slashing damage.
All right.
And as a bonus action, I will go for a third slice, because I am a dual wielder.
Slicey dicey.
With Echo once more. Ooh, probably not going to do it. 11.
Not this time. You slice in, you strike at the smelly flower. It spreads its spores. It begins to spill spores out everywhere, or pollen out. You strike it again, cutting clean, but as you go for your third thrust, you kind of strike nothing but air as the plant seems to have shifted away, and you strike nothing but pollen.
All right, and I will use the. I will take the spores as a sign to get out of dodge. I will beat my wings and I will fly backwards to get out of its reach.
Do you have something that stops that from being an attack of opportunity?
I do, as a matter of fact. I have. I have fancy footwork. When I make a melee attack against a creature, that creature can't make opportunity attacks against me.
Ho ho. Well then, yes. You fly back and get out of its way. Lor Al Ghul, would you like to describe yourself and what you are doing to this flower?
Absolutely. At first, when you come across this creature, you would swear it was a rotting, fallen tree for how it looks and smells. This creature is a alligator snapping turtle. He is covered in moss and mushrooms. It looks like if he stayed still, he could easily be mistaken for a rotting log or a rock of some kind. But the most acute thing about him is his scent. He is emanating this pungent, putrid scent of pure, unfettered rot. Like,
Ew.
he smells like he is dead. And as he reaches out his hand, he holds up this gnarled, twisted oaken quarterstaff, and at the very top of the quarterstaff is a hook, and hanging from the hook is this black lantern which glows in this baleful green light. He reaches out, holding his quarterstaff forward, the lantern shining brightly. Back to the earth with ye. I cast Blight at 5th level.
Go ahead and roll it. As this is a plant, I believe that does automatic full damage or something.
Automatic maximum damage, and it has to make a Constitution
Blight.
saving throw at disadvantage if it is a magical plant creature.
I believe it is. That's a 20 or a... Wow. Okay, I rolled in... Yeah, it's a 20. What is your AC, or what is your DC?
My DC is 16, so it takes half on the successful save. So that is... It takes 36 necrotic damage.
My lord.
All right, you can see as it begins to kind of like wither, and all of the spores that were in the air immediately turn to dust and kind of crumble down to the ground as this thing's roots begin to dry up and crackle. 36, hot damn. All right, and with that, Nara and Asmo...
I quickly backpedal a couple steps, and I will, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. I'll move over here, and I will take cover.
All right, the plant itself... Splort. Splort. I'll get to you guys in just a second. This was in progress as you got there.
These are OCs. I love these guys. Give them all the screen time in the universe, please.
All right. Does an 11 hit you, Wizen?
Ooh.
It does not.
All right.
Yeah.
How about a modified 20? I think that'll do it.
That will hit me.
Followed by another 11, which will not. Okay, so that's one hit, but I will need you to make a Constitution save as from beneath your feet, these vines begin to erupt out of the water to try to slap at you. You're able to avoid the first one. The second one slaps you hard across the thigh. And you're able to kind of like flip and dive out of the way of the third one.
Aw, that was almost a natural 20. A 4.
So close. Let's see. That will be... So you'll take 6 bludgeoning damage and... 18 necrotic damage as this thing's vine kind of like wraps around your leg for a moment. You feel it kind of like ripping the force of life out of you as it tries to pull you back down to the water. You're able to rip away and flip out of the way of the third vine that comes to attack you. Nara and Asmo, roll for your initiative if you wish to intercede.
I think it's pretty obvious that these guys are trying to fight back against this plant that's clearly invasive and new to this area, so Asmo's going to draw his blades and jump into the thick of it.
Yes. My
18.
question, I also got an 18.
Oh.
My question is, does it look like this thing is connected to the rusty roots?
Asmo's survival check would say that yes, this thing is where some of these roots are leading.
This is one of the nodes. There's a bunch of other dead trees around here, so clearly this thing is just, yeah.
Okay,
Doesn't take a lot. One to one.
Are we near the root structure that it's connected to?
You are floating above the water, but yes, there is a lattice of roots beneath your feet under the water.
Okay.
All right. Asmo, as you have the highest dexterity, you are up first.
Asmo, as a free action, can I yell? Can I shout out?
Yes.
Asmo shouts out, "Incoming!" Long, so you two have never heard that before. So Asmo's going to burst out and immediately just do the whole... Let me get my measuring tape out here. It's been a while. Ooh, beautiful. And you see a wonderful blackish blur run across the field. Asmo pulls out the Chimera Fang. right hand. 15.
15 will hit.
Boom. 12 plus 6 electric.
12 plus 6 electric. As you stab into it, you see that its branches writhe.
Oh, hell yeah. Good, because we ain't even remotely done right yet. Because Asmo's got a couple attacks. Asmo goes in with Fang. Another time. 13.
13
Shit.
will still hit. This
Oh,
thing's
it's
it's a
stationary.
big target.
11 plus 2. All right, 13. God, how many attacks do I have again at my level of level 11? Always forget.
You should have.
I think 4 or 5. One of them's
You're
offhand.
You're level 12.
Yeah, you're level 12, but
Oh, my sheet says.
You,
Sheet said.
Yeah,
guess-
leveled up last session that you were in.
Ah, that's why. Okay.
but
I think I have-
you should have 3 basic attacks and then 1 bonus attack for your offhand.
Right. Okay. So one more basic attack from Chimera Fang. 19.
19 definitely hits.
9 plus 2. 11.
Alrighty.
And then the
Thing's
offhand.
not looking great.
And then the offhand, we're gonna get him with. God bless you. He's gonna pull out he's got the void blade. 21.
21 hits, and it needs to make a DC 12 save.
God bless void blade being offhand.
Alright.
8.
Alright.
Doesn't hit for a lot, but then that special effect.
Yeah, actually, as you strike it with the blade, its plant-like body seems to seize up for a moment, almost kind of like squeezing in on itself. Nara, you're up.
Nara is going to goosh up a bit, and then she's going to. Is it Death Embrace or Tango Muerte? What do I have?
Still Tango Muerte, as Death's
Okay.
Embrace is currently being finicky.
So we'll try and send Tango Muerte to cut the roots beneath her. Is that can I do that? Do I know if that would work since it's underwater?
You don't know if that will work. Whether these roots will hurt this, like whether severing those roots will hurt this thing or not.
Don't know till you try. 27.
All right, you send Tango Muerte under the water. You feel for certain that it's snapping and slicing at things, but the plant does not seem to react.
Well, that's very rude of it.
And that's why we moved up, so she will instead Tango Muerte the plant.
Tango, 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 tango.
As
tango,
your
boy,
bonus
tango.
action, you send out Tango Muerte to
For
the
26.
target. 26. That will also hit. Roll damage.
Whee. 8 slashing, 3 necrotic.
All right, as Tango Muerte just kind of like becomes this buzzsaw sliding up, kind of tracking through the root that you have it attached to. It flies up just under Asmo's feet, almost kind of like clipping your nose for a moment, Asmo, as it kind of slices up and up like vertically trying to vivisect this plant. This thing is very shaky and wobbly. Wizen, you're up.
All right. Seeing that people have joined the fray, Wizen is going to look down at the strange black and yellow snake man. He's going to let his feet just barely hover above the water. He's going to turn to Asmo, and he's going to give him that trademark shoebill glare.
What? What?
Look in
Well,
the chat.
And
Why
It's a very familiar tribe of Snake Man to you.
yep. And then he's going to beat his wings once, and in a flash, will zoom around to the back of this creature, and he's going to go for his signature whirling dervish. Once
The blade
with,
hasn't stopped spinning.
once with grass cutter, or no, once with echo. Natural 20.
A natural 20 will do. And go ahead and roll damage. Like, you have to be pretty low for this not to... Wow, that comes up really weird for some reason.
Yeah, the new roll 20 is odd.
Don't worry.
all right, so-
that is total 16 slashing and 9 sneak attack. So
All right, so you look down at Asmo, give him this glare, and almost as if to say, like, you think you run this place, you take your blade, and, like, in a flash, you fly through this thing. You can almost hear the clap of the bamboo tongs, like the tunk-tunk, as you sheath your blade, and the creature falls to pieces behind you.
just 3 nice vertical sections as it just slowly slides apart.
Asmo has his blade just.
Is this the only one?
Asmo gestures at the dead thing.
Is it?
Wizen, you would say, like, this is the probably the second or third, like, this is the third one that you have fought yourself. This is the first time, actually, I guess, how long have you and Loar been traveling together here?
I think we'd be relatively familiar with each other. We've met on more than one occasion, and he helps me out when I need it, and I do so in kind.
Each of you have slain one kind of out on your own, and both of you met up here and found this one today where you came across each other. So you know that there are multiple of these throughout the swamp itself.
Wizen will flick the swamp goo off of his scimitars and sheathe them, and he'll turn to Asmo. Together, this is the third one that we've slain.
Is it now? Well, I'm guessing that's where the roots were coming in. Asmo.
Asmo gestures to himself and points.
This is Nara.
Hi.
I know you, Godkiller.
Do Asmo and Nara both look at him at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah, like,
What?
Wait, which one?
What?
Asmo's eyes do the narrow slit things.
Do you now?
Tales of your exploits have reached even here.
Well, you know what they say about stories. They're often,
True. Wholeheartedly.
yeah, no, the opposite, actually.
Uh-huh.
So, what is your names?
Wizen's head seems to shake from side to side a bit, and he lowers himself into a bow. I am Wizen.
The
My blades, Echo and Grasscutter.
Grass cutter.
the quarterstaff with the lantern slowly lowers down onto this creature, and as it touches, Lani, I cast Decompose.
The plant itself, which already smelled like fetid death, begins to rot and decompose and kind of wither away. The roots that led behind you, those that Nara had not been cut, also kind of begin to wither as well, but the roots that lead up to this thing, that lead further into the swamp, remain.
This one is Laura Ghoul. You may simply call me Lore, or the Swamp Hermit, the Rot Hermit, whichever you prefer.
The baleful green glow coming out of his lantern it kind of fills you with almost a sense of nostalgia, Nara. It's a very familiar green glow.
familiar how?
In terms that its magic appears to be that of necromantic.
Oh,
Alright.
gotcha.
Nick, do what I knew who Lore is since I used to live there.
How old is Loar?
He is, I believe, he is 27.
No, I might not know
Doubtful.
him then.
Doubtful.
Lore, I used to live here. Never heard of you before. How old are you? I can't tell with fellow reptiles.
This one has been amongst the forest 27 winters.
27 moons.
He's a bit older than
27
that.
moons, yes.
Bit older than Asmo. Bit older, not too much.
So, you sent here to take care of this infection, or what is this exactly?
Asmo just bends down and kind of just pokes just one of the roots just lightly with his foot.
This doesn't look normal. At least from how I remember this land used to be. It's a new one. Maybe magical.
A blight upon these lands for sure.
How long has it been here?
Yeah.
The first time, yes, my child. They start like these plants themselves, these fetid, rotting corpse plants, have only been popping up for about a week. But Loar, you noticed that something was off a bit before that. There was a kind of a quickening chill that ran through the swamp for a few days. And a few days later, certain parts of the swamp started going deathly quiet, especially around where you would normally congregate for your meditations to your patron or your demigod. You wandered off further to try to explore, and these vines just started popping up everywhere to the point that you actually couldn't find your way back due to the fact that these vines that caught you on one or two occasions simply tried to absolutely devour your life force.
About a week, days beforehand, swamp grew still, silent, deader than normal,
Very specifically cold.
especially cold.
What have the lizard folks done about this? This is their land as well.
You two are actually very close to Asmo's tribal homeland, and we're actually trying to go there to see if the shaman there had any answers.
We were just leaving to find out. Your tribe is nearby.
They're not my tribe, they're just the tribe I'm from.
Is that not the same thing? He tilts his head.
Got a
No.
new tribe now.
More or less. Family are the friends you're given. Friends of the family you choose, so to speak.
Asmo smiles.
Well, I can tell you what he would say. Not he. Who are you gonna go ask anyways in the town? The only person who would know anything would be the leader, the elder. And he'd probably...
She.
What's up?
She.
She?
Yeah, the head shaman is a lady.
I thought it was a guy last time. Oh,
Nope.
God!
Oh,
Nope,
damn
I
it.
just when I do reptile voices, they sound very masculine.
Son of a gun! I could have
I
sworn
thought it was
okay.
male too.
That's
That's on me.
This is...
What a mess! What an absolute mess we found.
How
ourselves
dare
in.
you gender them?
A swamp of
didn't even
context.
Didn't even ask her pronouns.
A swamp of context.
Swamp of cancellation now, jeez.
No, God, it's in my boots. All right.
What gender are you, Snake? No, what's in your pants? Venom.
Oh my god.
Is that your gender? It is now. Lean back. Uh-oh.
Well, be going to the village. I don't know what they would say. They probably just, I don't know, sacrifice something and, just hold their hands up to the sky and hope something happens. I take things too literally there. You're probably doing more good than the village itself would be doing. No, I shouldn't say that.
Asmo's catching himself being negative. Asmo kind of just shakes his head a little bit. Kind of tries to get out of the conversation almost.
You are quite well known in these swamps.
Asmo just kind of makes a face. Doesn't even know how to respond to that.
It's the problem with being well known isn't a good thing. It's always disarming to have somebody know more about you before you know anything about them.
And Asmo looks kind of back at the other two.
An interesting philosophy. I find the opposite to be true. It is good to be known, to have a reputation to be respected. To be known is to have left your mark on life, and to be able to die without regrets.
Maybe I'm just cynical about the expectations of strangers.
Or perhaps it is I who is too young. Either way, it is an honor to meet you.
You're good with a blade. That much can be sure. So.
You honor me.
Asmo just makes a face like, the fuck is going on? What the hell is
He bows again.
Asmo is just like, dude, what are you doing, bro? We're just hanging.
As he
You're making their day. Shut up.
As he bows and you're just looking around awkwardly, a crocodile corpse just kind of slumps out of the body of the corpse flower.
Oh my god.
Slowly touch the
Really?
lantern to the crocodile corpse. Decompose.
And it decomposes and rots away very quickly.
That's a really handy spell there. Have you tried just grabbing onto the root and doing it? And just follows the source all the way to where it needs to go.
Depends when you touch it.
One must be dead before one can be a part of nature.
Gotcha. So you're like a gardener, kind of.
Asmo squats down to look at the what vines are going off what directions from this thing. Are there any vine routes that Asmo can see, obviously, above ground?
Survival with advantage.
Still not my best, but hey, I got advantage. 17.
You're used to this terrain, so you see that these vines, they are a bit harder to follow at this point, just because there are so many dead trees around, because this thing clearly made grew here and its roots grew deep beneath it. But as you kind of glance around, you do see that the path of most consistent death does lead back towards a very familiar point in the swamp. Specifically, you see a very large dead tree, probably about 50 to 100 yards away, which was a tree where you and Deus together both made the promise that you would free yourselves from this bullshit of the tribe, and it's where you planned your escape.
Asmo's gonna wander over to the tree then. Not really saying anything.
You wander over to the tree and you kind of trace your fingers across it. And there you find where the both of you carved your chosen names.
Asmo just looks at it all, looks at everything, just pulls out just a simple knife and just chuckles to himself lightly and just quickly. Underneath, Deus writes sucks. Doesn't want to burn away the entire memory, just wants to addendum it. And just kind of chuckles to himself lightly.
The tree is very easy to carve into. You have to actually kind of be delicate with it because the tree itself is essentially just petrified wood at this point.
Asmo just kind of leaves it there.
Sucks. I did not know there were 3 of you.
What? That just looks over his shoulder. I'm sorry.
He tilts his head.
I knew I knew him. I know him.
And he
Yes.
sucks.
He does. So.
The one you left with, your brother.
How did you know that? Ezra just looks over to him. What's going on? What's going on?
As I said, you are quite infamous around these parts. I tend to travel
no.
and
Yeah, we both left, and this is what we decided right here. But yeah, you never want to
Decided.
fall into nostalgia. I never want to just get rid of it all the way. So, the middle of the ground's usually a little bit better. Just a healthy look at it through the lens of what today is. Deus sucks.
Asmo, and Asmo writes underneath it, rocks.
Asmo rocks. Deus sucks.
Yeah, there you go. It's
An
just
epitaph for the ages.
there we go. Exactly. Clearly carved in knives, but with better legibility, but somehow not.
what became of the other?
Ah, he's out there somewhere. Doing what he does best. Carving up his future with a knife.
Asmo licks his lips.
Anyways. Didn't mean to be derailed by that. Nora, can I talk to you over here for a second? If you excuse us for a second. You two.
Of course.
Laura and, Wisen. What's the up and up on these guys?
She pulls him behind a tree.
What?
What's the up and up on these guys? Don't try to. What are you doing?
Oh,
Trying to
I
kiss
thought
me?
you said you
No,
wanted to...
I have an actual conversation I want to talk.
Right, okay.
Does this have any connection to your nightmares? A plan of any kind?
They weren't in it. That I remember.
It's just a completely unrelated problem. Wonderful. Okay.
They're just here. I don't know.
The vines
Well,
were
click.
part of your nightmare.
The vines were in it, but
That's
these
part of
guys
the
are-
plant, Nora. That's part of the plant.
Oh, yeah. No, that's part of it. I thought you meant your new fans.
That's not it. I'm pretty sure we can ask them to come with us if this is the case. It looks like they're already trying to take care of the same problem if this is the connection to, like, everything. And, like, it's how, like, the roots got in your dreams somehow. Asma's doing this weird pantomime with his hands like Sami Zayn. Like,
Oh,
this-
did I not really explain what I think this is?
One
I
second.
just told
One
you
second,
about it,
guys.
didn't
Yeah, no, please.
Okay, so, you know how Mother Death is in Tango Muerte?
I'm gonna stop you right now. You at no point mentioned Mother Death to me. You just said, I'm having nightmares. Let's go this way.
Oh, okay, so Asmo.
Yes.
In the future, when a lot of really terrible things happened, Tango Muerte became a different weapon. And then when I left, it stopped being that weapon and changed into other stuff. And now I have like a link with Mother Death through my blade. And so I think the dreams are like a ripple from her being maybe upset that I dropped an information bomb on her about her son.
Wait, but that's what I just kind of open up a bit. Okay. All right. Well, that's not what I expected. But then again, I didn't really expect anything. So okay. Scratch the back of his head.
But I remembered the pig, and so I thought that, that maybe Festus is involved because there was like a pig screaming in my dream.
That's why we're going back to the swamp because you saw a pig. It couldn't
Well-
be Meat House. We could have needed to go back to Meat House.
I wish that it was Meat House, but it wasn't. It was the pig, and I don't want to keep having these dream things that aren't dreams. I asked Denier.
What? Oh. Never mind.
I thought
okay.
they were dreams, so I talked to Denier. They're not dreams. They're like these things, and it's probably Mother Death's
That's totally his thing, his dreams. So if it's not
I
dreams,
know.
then okay.
That's what
so-
I said.
Okay, I'm up to date now. So, to appease your Mother Death's link, you are now having subversive day visions?
Well, it's like when I'm in trance at night, that's why you had to, like, why I had the nightmares and stuff.
And they're not dreams, so you're actively awake when they're happening.
Well, no, I was in trance state, but they were mainly hitting when I was in that zone, you know.
This must have frustrated Denier to no end that he could not see this.
Yeah, he was pretty upset about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that would be like right on the line for what a dream is.
Denier, give me an arcane check.
Okie doke. Normal Denier?
Yes.
That's exactly what he sounds like in my
Okie
head.
doke.
Well, maybe we can ask these guys to join us with a little bit.
Normal Denier had a 24.
You spent at least 2 days trying to monitor her dreams, but no, it was very frustrating.
Yeah, he was pretty mad about it.
I'm just
not gonna lie.
imagining a Jason Alexander level of freaking out. It's my job. I'm the dream guy.
Do you and your mate need more time?
I mean, yes, but
No, we're good. I just wanted to get up to date with something. Nara, if you would like to,
If Azra realizes he doesn't know how to explain any of this to these guys.
Nara will just step forward.
we're gonna need to go to Asmo's village to talk to the shaman about the big pig.
No.
Slow tilt of the head.
Wizen matches that tilt.
Nara, they don't know who the pig is.
It's fine. We just need to go talk to the shaman.
I don't. Why?
Lore moves up within about 5 feet of Nara, the lantern shining a light on her face slowly.
What do you know about the pig?
What do you mean? What do I know?
Whoa.
You are here for quote unquote a pig. What do you know
The
about
big
the
pig.
pig? Yes.
I know who he is and what he is and what he smells like, and it is not great.
He smells an awful lot like this turtle that you're talking to.
You guys smell pretty similar, not gonna lie.
He gives a slow nod.
I would assume that I would smell like my master. Yes.
Oh, so you guys are... Wait, are you guys a thing, or is that like... What kind of... Never mind. You know what? Do you know where Big Pig is?
You described him as more of a boar.
He is a very large boar.
Big
That is the closest approximation to what you could say. Yes.
As well, as was eyes bob when he says that.
I am his student. There is no thing, and you two are mated. I'm glad that we all understand this situation.
And he begins to waddle away.
Asmo, anime jaw drop, shock eye, blush faces.
Come on, sweetie.
She grabs his hand. Starts going off after, still on the pixie stick, starts going after Lore.
All right. Which way are you heading, Lore?
I'm heading towards the village.
All right.
I know where I need to go.
I'll just float along with my wings.
I feel like Wizen's like, I will also go.
Yes, I will do this as well.
As you get closer and closer, go ahead and make me perception checks, a lot of you.
20. Soft.
21.
16.
Soft 20.
All right. The lot of you, aside from Asmo, who is currently being dragged along by Nara, who just does not want to go this way.
A game of hopping. It's a game of hopping on the right things.
Pretty much. You're being very cautious not to step on any of the horrible vines that will try to consume your essence.
As we're getting closer to the town, are there more vines or less?
As you're getting closer to the town itself, the vines that you are trying to avoid seem to kind of spread off in a slightly different direction, though the amount of decay in the trees remains, it appears as though members of your tribe have been dealing with these little flowery nodes that you have been dealing with, as there is still definite death in the area, but the vines themselves seem to have, for the most part, withered, and those that remain relatively intact are fewer and further between. I was going to say, with the perception check, as you get closer, Nara, Lore, and Wizen, you notice that the tribe itself is very cautious. It has many of its members hiding amongst the muck of the swamp and the treetops, keeping eyes on you. None of them are set to strike, but they are all prepared to at a moment's notice. Kind of like they appear to be like squatting, some of them in a position ready to pounce with daggers or blades. Others hold bows, not drawn, but at the ready. Asmo, you do not notice them, as you are the one part just trying to keep your eye on the vines, and two, you just don't want to fucking be here, man. Though I will say that a lot of you notice that as they take notice of Asmo traveling with you, some of their guard starts to drop slightly. Some of them, like drop their guard and start looking a lot more quizzically at the lot of you.
And you said there are how many?
The ones that you can see, you're probably able to spot about a half dozen of them as you're traveling up this swampy trail. Lore, maybe 2 or 3 more. But you're guessing that there are a few that none of you are able to see, just due to the nature of this tribe. You do, however, start to see the glistening lights of Firefly lamp in the distance as you get closer and closer to this village, and the land itself starts to... you're able to kind of set foot a bit more on solid land as you end up in this island, in this bayou. And you are greeted by the sense of various, very earthy incense that are kind of like dry smoking in these fire pits. And a number of people are beginning to gather and come out of various tree huts and ground huts and small ground hovels. All, for the most part, they are the black and yellow snake folk of Asmo's clan. But speckled amongst them are a few frog people who have adapted to kind of have tribal paint of the black and yellow colors, and just a few various other lizard folk of the that appear to have gathered from other tribes in the area.
Asmo just doesn't really say anything and just kind of keeps his eyes looking around.
Stepping out of taking notice of the commotion and stepping out of the largest hut in her village.
Man.
Making sure.
Man.
Side by side with the largest of these snake folk steps the shaman, dressed in the headdress, which is covered in various animal bones and furs. Her body just covered in these like very ceremonial skins and weaves, begins to step out. The last time you saw her, she was when you were traveling through and trying to get out of here as soon as possible.
One of the fated children has returned again.
Yes, they have. I see roots have infested these lands. What do you know of them?
It has been the predicament. A land of death. But more death than usual.
The cycle of life and death is meant to go in a cycle, not be drained of all of it.
Her eyes glance towards Nara.
Hey.
You have changed much since our last encounter.
Yeah,
Yes.
you could say that.
Your spirit stands at a inflex, Shadow Child.
Inflex?
Your energies, they waver. Your convictions have been tested.
With what?
Go ahead and
sure
make me a
there's more enjoyment in the mystery.
go ahead and make me a deception check if you wish to hide your emotions from her.
Sure.
You have no emotions.
22.
22.
Mm-hmm.
She looks deep into your eyes.
Heartbreak.
Okay.
Or so it would seem.
Your face stays pretty much as like much of a poker face as you can throw here, but there's something that tells you that she's been able to kind of like read through you and can tell that something happened to shift your demeanor.
Right.
You have been death-touched.
Well, I've been like that since I was little.
But it is clear to take on a new meaning for you now.
Care to explain?
In what way?
Death touched.
She points at the weapon at your waist.
Got it.
It rings with a very strong resonance. Of the Moon Mother.
And she kind of like holds her hands to the sky, where in the clearing you can see the crescent shape of the moon coming into view through the canopy above.
It has brought you here, has it not?
Not just her and I, but two others.
And
Asmo.
many of the tribe around.
Asmo asks, Lore? Asmo points to Lore, the man with the green lantern.
Ah, the Rot Hermit and the Songbird.
Asmo looks over to Wizen when he hears the phrase songbird.
He just bows.
We came upon them fighting one of these plant creatures. How long have they been here for?
I noticed a shift, an awakening. It came about 7 days ago.
7 days ago, okay.
But
a week.
before that
Oh, okay.
came the chill. The chill that people have not felt in, well, since before our blood ran cold.
How much colder is it than it would be on average, Nick?
It doesn't feel that much colder to you here, honestly. Like, it's still muggy and swampy. It's clear that whatever cold she spoke of was fleeting.
For a memory check, would Nara know? Was that the same time frame as when they got back and she told Death about what happened?
Time frame wise,
Yeah.
this time seems to line up with. Go ahead and give me history with advantage.
Okay. 15.
From recent memory, the only thing that happened just a little over a week ago was the most notable thing that you can remember was the explosion of Project Exodus.
Oh, okay.
Asmo, that's when the thing blew up, right?
The actual our big artillery cannon, huh?
No, the
Lona Throned.
Lona
Project
Throned.
Exodus that blew every.
Oh my
that
God.
blew up
Okay,
Lona Throned.
Okay, sorry. I think my signal just cut out for a sec there.
No, you're
it's all good.
All right, so
Oh, that would be when that was.
how could that be connected? Az was just kind of thinking away. Because I'm like because in my head I guess I want to ask like if the chill came before the roots, essentially.
Yes, the chill came before the roots, about a day before the roots started sprouting.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because that happened, and all of a sudden a bunch of plants pop up. I'm just trying to find the connection in my own head.
So, these roots come after the chill. And do you know where the roots started?
The heart of the forest, where his master resides. That appears where my scouts claim they are emanating.
She is referencing Lore when she says his master.
Right. Festus.
The roots approach his domain, yes, but they have not reached it as of yet.
You don't know that.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You left to check on things, and when you came back, you were barred from entering with how thick and dense these roots were everywhere.
My apologies. I redact that answer. He stays quiet.
Heart of the forest is where I think it is.
Asma looks back to Lore.
Something you haven't been telling us, Lore?
I left a check on the location of it after feeling it. I haven't been able to go back. The orange roots cut me off.
I've been trying to get back ever since.
It would seem destiny has plans, then.
Cool, I love when Destiny has plans. It's my favorite.
Explain,
Asma just taps his head.
what you've been seeing lately.
Yeah.
Your
Just
arrival.
tired of other things having plans and me having to follow them.
Your arrival is fortuitous. The tribes of this swamp are looking to eradicate these plants. But if you could strike at its heart, do away with them at their core, then we could be rid of this.
Nara's face scrunches up.
Oh my gods.
Wise
You?
She points at Asmo.
What?
You and Wolfgang and Denier are rubbing off. You're having to help people with their bullshit thing on me.
Do you think I'm any more happier for being here?
This is saying in front of the entire town.
Love this place, folks. Great place. Great place to grow up.
just somebody in the background. Woo!
Yeah, all right, cool.
Did you do that distant shot where someone's just like clearly acknowledging the awkwardness? Because I wish Asma was tired for go for full, full exasperation in this moment.
Lord leans forward, just a few inches away from Asmo's head.
Your children will love it here.
I'm sure they will. All right, Lore.
Wait, you have children?
Lore.
Yes.
Would you come with us to your master's shack, where clearly this is emanating from?
That is on my to-do list, yes.
Your to-do
Hey,
list.
Wizen, you want to watch Asmo fight a bunch of stuff?
I would be honored to see the Godslayer in action.
I knew you were gonna say it. He's coming too.
When you say Godslayer, there's this unmistakable look of muted pride that kind of strikes across the shaman's face.
What are you smiling at? You didn't know him.
You want to know what's not fair? Is technically I am too, but no one knows.
Okay.
Head tilt.
I mean, we do now. Kinda.
No, if I talk about it, it's gonna get weird. Let's just go.
Very well.
Asmo just, as everyone starts heading out, Asmo is going to be kind of the last one. And
You
just
do
looks
not
to
wish to rest for the night.
You have been traveling for some time.
Oh.
What time of day is it?
It is night.
No. Wait, hold on.
What?
This shaman's right.
Really?
Again, another look of muted pride.
We should make camp here for the evening. At least
To
for
be
tonight.
pretty honest, I don't really want to sleep again.
I know.
Trance or,
I know.
the thing I do.
Then you take first watch. For me.
Fine.
If I may.
Wyzen, I'm just, camera pans, Wyzen's there. Ah! Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Steps up over his shoulder.
I was hovering the whole time.
Yeah, I was watching it happen. It's actually going to be a lot of fun for me.
It's not often I see people who are not of my kind who can look me in the eye while I'm flying. As I was saying, I may have a method that will help us, and it will prevent the need to take watches.
What?
For the record, you're in, for the most part, a secure village so long as you trust the people you're around.
That is true. That's why Asmo was being facetious when he said that, technically.
Also that.
I think we'll be okay in town with them having their own watch. I was mostly joking. You're a pretty serious dude, aren't you there, Wyzen?
When it calls for it, I was just wanting to,
Help.
He sort of taps his fingers together. Prove my worth. Yes, help.
Oh, this is going to be adorable.
Well, may we break bread at a fire and talk, and then head out tomorrow morning.
Of course.
Mar, if you are, of course, I guess, invited as well, if you don't mind staying, downwind. No offense.
There is he's given the pig pen sort of treatment. A lot of people give him a very large personal bubble.
I feel bad, but if you smell like corpses, I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's a bad smell.
I have grown used to it, but if you require some aid against the smell, and he'll pull a scarf out of his pack, and he'll also pull a very ornate glass bottle, and he'll squeeze like a air pump at the end of it, and spray it with perfume, and just hand it to Asmo. Here.
Where have you been?
Here.
Thank you. Where have you been? My God, this is wonderful.
I've not traveled too far out of the swamp, but I watch the roads sometimes. Yes.
So Asmo's thinking how many of Wyzen's kind has Asmo ever met?
There are a number of swamp bird folk that live in the swamp, mostly cranes, herons, some of these shoebill storks. You didn't interact a whole lot when you were a child, if only because your tribe is typically not dealt with unless there is some big emergency within the swamp. But they've been around. You've seen them.
You'll have to apologize if this comes across rude, but you don't seem to be the average swamp person.
I see what you mean. I probably leave more than my brethren and most of the other dwellers of the swamp. It is merely a curiosity. I was inspired by stories of heroes who wander and do battle for glory and wealth and honor.
So what does your townsfolk think of you being out here dealing with these vines?
Well, I'd like to
I
think
really want him to have a copy of Darrington Loxley's book.
No.
Yes, this book.
Just such a fan of this guy. It's signed and everything, and I'm all about his political opinions. I will listen to his podcast all the time.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interject.
You're fine. I would like to think that they appreciated this.
Did
This
they send you,
madness.
or did you sneak out?
I didn't really sneak out. I am well known for being a warrior of the swamp, and so off I went to combat this plague.
Well, looking forward to having you.
Az was just nodding, kind of going like, you never know what heck can change. Because like, Aswa's seen the swamp in a certain way. He's not used to meeting somebody like this from the swamp. Swamp people are.
That's what happens when you grow. It's what happens when you grow up in a cult.
He just he nods his head once more, and
Church of Raptor Jesus Christ of Raptor Life Saints.
And he'll turn to Lore and give him a trademark shoebill grin.
Oh boy.
I want you to know that I'm just so appreciative that you found all these pictures of the shoebill. Dude, where did you find this shoebill's acting page? Are there any other photos?
Yeah, these are his headshots. That's Shoe Bill on Parks and Rec. That's.
Oh, I love their work. They were actually, it sucks that they were replaced with Billy Eichner, but that's fine.
Most people just call me Bill.
Just wait till he puts on the doctor's outfit and it's Dr. Shoebill.
Well, the lot of you are given sustenance for the evening, various swampy breads and hunted meat. Lots of things that are dried and cured and prepared. Lot of insect protein. But you are given sustenance and places to sleep for the evening.
I'm assuming just a nice little fire.
Yeah, as you rest yourself in a little makeshift lean-to.
Oh, can I actually ask Laura something before we go to bed, real quick?
Sure.
Real quick.
Lore, how come I didn't, when we met your master a long time ago, how come we didn't meet you?
Where was I at the time, Lenny? Was I like hiding outside the cave? Was I off doing business, or did I not meet him?
You have business around the swamp. I mean, you have things that you will typically do. Of anybody in this group, you've probably dealt with this tribe the most, seeing as you're both fascinated with death. But either your studies or any number of things will take you from the side of Festus, and you don't typically spend day and night at his feet. You go to him when there are specific things you need to pray about or questions that you need to ask. So it's not like you are always there. You're not his Smithers or something.
Gotcha.
That's what I was curious about.
Sometimes in the forest, things need help returning to nature, and I often spend quite a bit of time in nature assisting it.
So he has you do all his really long chores that would involve a lot of walking.
I don't mind it.
I didn't say you did, but I just explained why I didn't see you that one time.
I was probably off somewhere doing something. And
He never mentioned us, huh?
I've heard tale of some visitors of his, yes.
Oh, I guess that was us.
I never knew any of your names, though.
I didn't. This doesn't shock me that he didn't bother remembering our names. He
You
has the
would
kind of
You would specifically know Asmo as the child, like one of the children of prophecy from this village, though.
Mm-hmm. The other three? No, I don't know any of them, but you I've heard of. I have a fair bit of dealings with this particular village.
Well,
haven't you noticed how where we're staying is a little bit of ways from everybody, and it's particularly downwind from the village?
There are also lots of incense pits between here and there.
They're used to me here.
they are. It's interesting. The way powerful magical creatures and how they operate. As long as you love what you do, it's okay, right?
Love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Disagree. Love what you do, you love what you're working on.
And you never stop working again.
That's true. We should get some sleep.
As each of you bed down in the lean-to for the evening, in your various lean-tos, trying to block the scent, or at least try to go sense blind from Lore Agal.
Funnily enough, Lani, at some point in the night, Lore will actually vanish from the party, but he will return. Just before the party wakes up.
Inside.
Right.
No.
Well, in that moment, the lot of you drift off, and Nara, as you feared, as you drift off into your trance, you see the vision of vines wrapping and twisting, and you hear the cries of Festus. As you see the vines twist and turn and force their way down his gullet. And here's where we will take a quick break. Hey guys, Lani here. I just wanted to thank you for rolling with us. And if you wanted to catch us live, you can do so almost every Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time over on twitch.tv/Lanipator. Now, back to the show. You're able to sleep through the night for the most part. And yeah, at a certain point when your trance kind of shakes you from your, well, when your vision shakes you from your trance, Nara, you notice that Loire is missing from the group. All that's sitting there is just his lantern stuck into the ground.
He's not there anymore?
Doesn't appear to be.
She will go over and inspect the his staff.
The staff is gone.
Oh, the staff is
just
gone
the
too.
lantern.
Okay. Oh yeah, just the
Okay.
lantern.
Okay.
Because he can actually detach it from the.
That makes sense. I just kind of imagined that being in the swamp, you'd probably stick the stick into some mud so that the lantern wouldn't sink beneath the surface.
That's what he would do in the swamps, yeah, or hang
Right.
it from a tree.
But in this case, the lantern is just sitting there where he once was.
She will go over and take a peep at the lantern.
When Nara looks at the lantern, does she see anything strange?
Inside of the lantern, of course, the lantern itself is a blackened metal. It looks like an old timey like oil lantern, but all the glass is continuously being shined through with this baleful green light. It feels necromantic in nature. Like Lani said earlier, this lantern feels very, very familiar to you.
Right.
But you cannot see into it.
Other than the flickering flame, I imagine, on the inside.
Exactly. Except for the power source.
Yeah. Nothing appears different aside from the fact that it does seem to be relatively magical in nature. But with that, you could probably give me an Arcana check.
Sure. 8.
You really wish Denier was here.
Yeah.
Because there's something about this lantern that's bugging you, but you don't know what. The sun begins to rise as everybody else needed just a little, like a few hours more sleep than you, as you need only half the amount of time to get your rest in.
You would have spent the rest of the time reading. Don't I have a book? Oh yeah, I have a book detailing illusionary creatures, right? Or what was the most recent one?
Denier Prime also gave you the Sylvan book after he finished it, before
That's
you
right.
separated ways.
Yes, so sure, we'll try and decipher Sylvan.
All right, intelligence check. If I recall correctly, it was going pretty well for you last time.
I think
as you already have
you're right.
a basic understanding of
Oh
Elven.
my god, nat 20 and 21.
Something about this is really clicking for you. You know how to ask to go to the bathroom. You know, like if you were just a tourist going to a place that only spoke Sylvan, you'd probably be fine for like a week.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to have like day-to-day conversations about politics or nothing, but you're getting there.
So can I put basic Sylvan on my languages now?
I would say that you comprehend it but can't speak it fluently.
Oh, okay.
Kind of where, like, you know, like if there's just a show that's dubbed only in Sylvan, you get the general gist of every scene, but you don't fully comprehend.
Okay.
Basically where I'm at with Japanese and anime.
Got it.
But you're close. You're damn close.
So close you can taste it.
Yeah, one more week of studying and you'll probably have it down pat.
Ooh, okay.
Of course, in this world, that's kind of like learning Latin, but...
Well, you know,
you got it. It's Elf Latin. As the sun begins to rise, do you make your presence known once again, Loar?
It's the strangest thing with Lord. Like, everybody's starting to wake up. Everybody's just looking around. He's not there. They blink, and he's all of a sudden there again, and the smell hits everybody like a sack of bricks.
So the first thing you notice is the smell, and that wakes everybody else up. You thought you got used to it, but then, BAM! Back with a vengeance.
Nara notices the smell and immediately goes into the tent to watch Asmo, as she knows it's going to hit him and wake him up.
Yeah, his little tongue flicks out of his mouth, and Asmo, you get an immediate taste of the rot in the air.
Goody,
Good morning.
His little sleep blems.
All right, let's get going. Didn't think it could be any worse seeing home, but seeing home decaying when it itself was decaying is... Not gonna lie, I don't know how it could be worse than I thought it was gonna be, but yet it is.
At first,
Give it time.
You're the only good thing here, Nara.
Aww.
You know, based on how bad everything is.
You know, you had something good going for there for
I just
like
woke
1
up.
minute.
I just woke up.
Smacks him on the nose and walks out.
It's clear by the population of the village that the hunt is on. All of the snake people and lizard people of battle-ready age are gone, and they're out in the forest hunting down these plants, leaving you guys to try to find your way to the lair of Festus, where the scouts of the village claim most of these vines lead.
Wait, can you repeat that last part?
Yes. Basically, since all of the village, like, and many of the other surrounding villages, all of the people of fighting age are out fighting these plants similar to the one that you took out yesterday. You guys are left to the task of finding your way to the lair of Festus, where the scouts of this village claim many of these vines have led.
So is Lore back?
Yes, Laura's back. You
That's
were
why everything
you were
stinks.
awoken by his smell.
All right.
Asmo quickly takes a bite of ration, just because, I can only imagine how much he doesn't want to have breakfast right now.
Everything you eat is tainted by the smell of Loire.
That's damn it. Shit.
It's like you're trying to eat a Subway sandwich in a portable bathroom.
Is something wrong?
Oh no, did I get the sandwich from the machine in the portable bathroom?
You might have. You might be eating.
Eating
an egg salad sandwich in a truck
This is
stop.
a
Jiffy Lube.
Futurama episode. I'm being Futuramaed. I'm Futuramaing myself.
You can see me, you can smell me, you can even taste me.
You can always taste everything in the swamp. Lar,
Well then,
would you take point on being our scout ahead to take us to the center? You
I know
just
the
what's-
way.
I figured you would.
Yeah, Laura, you would know the way basically by heart. You could find your way to Festus's lair from almost anywhere in this swamp. You've made the trek from almost every direction in this swamp.
Wizen,
yes.
can you hover above us and behind us a little bit just so you can cover every which way?
Of course.
Except
And he will take to the sky.
All right.
Oh, okay, well. Tally.
And as Asmo thinks he's got it all under control, Nara just grabs his hand while she's on the floating thing. Ah!
And you guys begin making your journey further into the swamp. For this effort, I would like Wizen to give me a perception check as he's keeping his eyes out for any potential dangers. And the rest of you to give me survival checks.
Oh boy.
Is there any modification to my roll since I know this forest like the back of my hand?
You are currently focused on navigating, so you're
Wait, you
actually
said-
kind of
Survival?
survival for everybody except Wizen, who is at kind of an aerial position, keeping
oh.
an eye on everybody.
Right.
That's a 25.
God bless Lore.
See, and you were so worried. Lore, who has taken the lead, is doing a very good job of making sure you guys don't run blatantly into any of these vines, as they do get thicker and thicker the further into the swamp you travel. Every now and again, you have to travel a little further out of your way than you'd like, just due to the thickness of the of some of these vines being knitted together. You come across a number of hunting parties doing battle with these fetid flowers that you had been finding around, and none of them appear to be having too much difficulty with them. They all appear to be in like hunting parties of like 5 or 6. So you kind of leave them to their devices, knowing that your mission is a bit more important. They are literally here in support of you at the moment.
Worst case scenario, I'll come back and help them transition back to the earth.
Yeah. You find a number of places where these flowers have been cleared out for you, and you travel further into the swamp until you finally find your destination. And man, you feel like you got used to Lore's scent, but the closer you get to Festus's lair, the more it comes crawling back. And I need everybody except for Lore to make a Constitution saving throw, Wizen with advantage.
Oh boy.
Okay. $13.
Oh, good thing too.
Yeah, good thing for the advantage.
Oh,
13.
Asmo, you have, you've got poison in your veins, basically. So while this is a horrible, awful smell, it's just seeping in everywhere, you're probably going to be tasting it for days. You are able to press forward and press through it, to the point that it's one of those smells that's so bad, it's almost intriguingly bad. You almost can't kind of help but sniff at it. Nara, on the other hand, and Wizen, you are both feeling quite ill. Your next check
Asmo's
will
feeling
be
this burning in the back of his throat, like, oh, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, your guys' next check or your guys' next roll will be at disadvantage.
Oh, cool.
Right? But the smell is only the first thing you notice. As you get closer, you hear kind of like the grinding of rocks and are now kind of able to even hear the muffled grunts of Festus as you hear these writhing of roots as you're getting closer and closer to his lair. And you're struck, specifically Asmo, by an additional scent in the air. The scent of... On top of that rot, there's almost this gentle sweetness, this earthy smell of falling leaves.
Falling leaves.
Yeah. And
Odd that it would be strong enough to power through that smell.
Very odd, in fact. And as you get closer and closer, and you hear this writhing, you see before you 3 of those massive... three of those fetid, rotting flowers, one of which is massive and large behind the other 2. The largest flower sits behind what looks to be a mound of mossy rock, and on top of that flower appears a familiar form. The form of the Archfey of Autumn, Whither.
Okay, refresh my memory. Who is that?
That is the girl that you rescued in the mists. The daughter of the Archfey of Winter.
Right. Okay.
And you see as she is currently, like, kind of eyes almost rolled into the back of her head, hands grasping at this very large poisonous flower where these roots are spreading all over the place, sucking the life out of this swamp. And those roots are shooting further back into the cave, the lair of Festus. Your heart kind of sinks at this sight, Lore, as you know that wherever those roots are leading, it does not mean anything good for your master.
Okay.
Lore is going very pale right now. This is impossible. If those things get down there.
Then what?
My heart of hearts, I'm wondering why the summer, out of character, I'm wondering why the summer, like the autumn, why she's there. Like, that's what's killing me right now. I need to know why she's there before I proceed forward. Almost.
Crazy, right? Yeah. Lore, go ahead and make me a... I guess this would either be nature or religion check for you, whichever is stronger. Go ahead.
Let me see. That would be nature. Actually, nature, religion, they're both the same.
Then?
That's a 6, unfortunately.
All right. Whatever is happening here is definitely not good. It means nothing good for Festus, as whatever life is being drained from these roots, you're not sure what is happening inside that cave, but it can't be anything good.
The girl that's on top of the flower, does she look like she's being like held hostage, or does it look like she's controlling the flowers?
Insight check?
All of us, or?
For him specifically.
Nat 20.
Wow.
No, she is most definitely not being held hostage. She seems to be very much in control. She has this look of very determined, like... She has a very determined and purposeful look on her face. You can actually see like the corners of her eyes kind of streaming with like a bit of tears. They roll off her cheeks like morning dew almost. And Asmo and Nara, as you recognize the archfey standing atop the flower, it does not take long for you to notice that the mound of rock and moss before her begins to move and shift, and you see the form of Barak, her faithful ancient guardian.
That guy. She has a rock golem, buddy.
I'm trying to remember this. I'm trying to remember this person. I'm so sorry.
It was quite a while ago.
Yeah, I was
gonna
say
this. Long time ago.
This is a waste.
We were in the time mists, and
yeah, that's why I remember them in the time mist. But I'm trying to remember the specifics about them. We went in there to find her, or we did find her somehow.
Yes.
And
then she left with Barak left with Miguel.
Yeah, she was the one that helped Miguel navigate his way out of the mists, and you did so at the behest of her. You did so at the behest of her mother, who
right. She came into she came into the she came into the bar, and she asked us for help. Right, specifically that. I guess I'm just. Okay, visually, can you, like, how is this framed? Like, is it that Festus is, like, trying to get her out of it and he's frozen? Is she, like, trying to get out of it?
Festus is in the cave. You cannot see him.
Oh, I just wonder what that big green circle thing is, then.
That's Brock. That is Brock, the ancient
Oh, my God,
golem.
I got those two confused in my head again. I'm sorry. All right, so that's the golem. What is he doing?
He is, noticing that people have approached. He is currently standing at guard in front of Whither.
So he wasn't trying to get her out of this plant?
No.
I'm so confused.
I don't know how much you're cutting out. I've tried to explain as clearly as possible that she is in control of the plant that she is on.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused why she's doing this. That's why
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I mean.
We don't know either yet.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
So what do?
Nara pulls out Tenga Muerte and stares at it.
Do you know anything about this?
It is... Go ahead and give me a charisma check.
Are we gonna work? That's an 18.
You get this feeling that this needs to be stopped. Something about what is happening here might break the world.
Nara walks. Nara, like, takes one step forward.
Hey there!
Talking to Autumn and waving at Brock.
Whither.
As
you step forward, the roots that you see kind of like twisting and turning, almost forming like walls, seem to kind of like shift and like kind of tense up as you call out.
These orange vines, I'm assuming, they look different than the tentacles we've been seeing?
The only reason I have them marked down here is just because of how thick they are in this current area. They are risen up out of the swamp itself, creating almost barriers.
Okay.
That you would not be able to get through. They are so thick and tangled, covered in thorns and writhing, that it's hard to discern between. Like, they're basically walls.
How tall are the walls?
Depends. Kind of like they weave up and down. So somewhere in the swamp they're like 3 feet out of the water. Some spots they can get as high as like 5 to 7 feet out of the water.
Okay.
Okay, so not terribly high.
No. If you can fly, you can get over them. But to anybody that's on foot, they are a obstacle. Whither seems to wince as you call out, but she just keeps focusing her energies into this plant.
You know that one. Is she friend or foe?
Friend. Just a little... Well, she was pretty little last time we saw her.
Yeah,
But,
I'm so confused.
Can I tilt my head and look at this individual and see if she's concentrating on a spell?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me a I guess that'd be Arcana check.
All right. Not as good as Anir, but 7.
She's certainly concentrating hard. You can't tell if it's specifically on a spell or if it is just like the sheer nature of this creature and the aura it gives off is slightly intimidating. This is something. This creature is something otherworldly.
Lord is approaching.
You are trespassing on the lands of Festus. Stand down, or you will be dealt with.
Nara puts a hand on his shoulder and kind of pulls him back.
Does a 18 hit you, Lore?
Yes, it will.
All right. From your right, from that wall of vines, one leaps forth and strikes you. That will be to do 8 bludgeoning, and give me a Constitution save.
I am resistant to bludgeoning damage. 21 Constitution saving throw.
All right, so you're able to kind of like slink down, like kind of take it to the shell, and whatever necromantic energy this thing is trying to like sap out of you does not seem to be able to draw blood or draw any of your life force from you as it strikes you. So you take half the damage that I said previously.
Yep.
And a voice, kind of otherworldly, echoes from around Whither. I will get her back! You stand down!
Who back?
And you can see as the tears continue to stream down her face. I will have my mother back!
Okay, hey, whoa, hi. What? From where? Did she leave?
Her eyes shoot open. From beyond. I will take her. I will get her back.
Okay. So she went to the beyond.
She kind of like looks at everyone else for a second, like, I'm not
taking
fighting
the
this.
air.
So she went to the beyond, but
I
we
will pull
can't
her back.
do that.
Yes, I can. I can and I will.
You would doom us all for a chance to bring back what shouldn't be here anymore.
Asmo yells, "Listen to her!" Asmo points at Nara. Listen to her!
Give me persuasion with disadvantage.
14.
No, not you. Nara. Sorry.
Oh!
10.
Oh, that's much worse than a 10.
That's a natural 1.
That's a natural 1.
I can bring her back. She protected me, so I will bring her back myself. And you can see the vines begin to kind of like glow and writhe as she now starts to kind of see you as an obstacle. And if you stand against me, then you will aid me.
Shit.
Venerable One, what is our course of action?
We
Asmo.
Don't kill her. Anything but that. There's something much more here. Grief, pain. You can sense it, Nara.
Yeah.
Agree. You gotta get you close enough to get to her, through to her. We're too far away. If we can get you close enough, maybe you can break through to her.
Maybe. She doesn't drain me dry first.
I know, that's kind of the problem here.
shit. How much weight can you carry? Asmo looks at Bird Boy. Wizen, thank you. Sorry, Wizen.
I can probably carry about 135 pounds. Just rough estimate.
Nara looks down.
This is one of those situations where
we must act.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. Whither? Can we please talk? I'm not gonna get in your way. I just want to talk to you about this first.
If you're not going to help me, then go away until I'm done! She seems very petulant after your last check.
Lore.
I've done this before.
Oh.
Deception?
No.
Oh.
Have you
deception.
Have you
dealt
actually
with this before?
I've dealt with this before.
All right, persuasion.
Oh my god, come on. 22.
Woo! She seems to simmer for a moment.
Eye
What
over
do you
the
mean?
shoulder.
I lost before. Someone to the other side.
Then I can bring them back too.
We can't.
Yes, I can.
It's not a question of that. Of course you're capable of doing it.
Then why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I?
It's the way of things. And she's not gone.
Because I can still get her. She's just on the other side. I just need to get through that pig.
Whither?
You see, as you step forward, the vines begin to kind of rankle.
Making me look that word up. Rankle.
It's okay to have lost.
But what if you never have to lose? What if you never have to lose? What if you can have it back? And then
you wouldn't
can thank
appreciate
her
it if it was there.
Give me a persuasion with advantage.
26.
Her eyes open and you can see her eyes are just welled with tears. I didn't mean to disobey her.
She knows that.
But I ran away. And she worried. And then I finally found her. And then the explosion and
Whither?
She's just on the other side. I can bring her life back.
It won't be the same.
But it can be. She'd be there.
Whither? This is just how life is. Someday it's gonna end.
It's not fair.
It's not.
It's not. Asmo says to himself.
But we have to embrace that part of life. And knowing that it only lasts for so long.
But why do I have to do it now? When I have the power to stop it?
Is that what she would want?
I know that if it were me, she'd do anything. Anything.
She wouldn't want you to suffer. Not like this. And what you're doing, it's not going to help make things better.
She looks down at Brock. He stares emotionlessly.
Why did she have to die?
And she slides down onto Brock, who kind of cradles her. The vines stop writhing.
Asmo just closes his eyes. He's just like, he can't, like, he's yeah.
She's just on the other side. I can
She's
still
still watching over you.
As Whither looks up to you, you can see her eyes go from that auburn orange, and they start to kind of take on this shimmering cerulean blue.
What am I supposed to do?
I'm supposed to remember her. Cherish what memories you have. Live a life that would make her proud of you.
But how will I know if I am?
You won't. You can only try your best.
But my best got her killed.
That's not true.
She died protecting me.
Because she loved you.
Persuasion with advantage.
Could I do something as well?
What?
While seeing that this situation is de-escalating from combat to more persuasive, Wizen will slowly reach to his back and pull out his Tegel harpa, and he will begin to play, and I will give her bardic inspiration.
All right, so make your persuasion with advantage and add a D8.
Lord.
Asmo looks over his shoulder at this
Oh my God.
this swamp person who just pulled out a fucking harp.
31.
Tegel harpa. Oh my god.
Oh.
Her eyes are just brimming with tears, and you can see that at like the cerulean edges of her eyes, they're starting to kind of like frost over. And as her eyes begin to frost over with these tears, you can see these roots begin to wither and crackle and fade.
Nara looks up at Whither, kind of tearful herself.
She's with you even now.
She slides down off of, or Brock kind of like sets her down. She bursts into tears and runs and gives you a hug and just starts weeping into your stomach.
She'll wrap her arms around her and sink into the hug.
Asmo will just kind of hover a little bit behind, just looking at the giant golem, who's clearly probably just. And as Asmo sees Lore booking it.
Yeah, lore is now that the lines are going. Lore is gone.
All right, Lord, I'll get to what's going on with Festus here in a moment. But yeah, needless to say, you immediately run into the cave as Whither continues to cry, and you can, your stomach actually feels like a little cold as she's breathing.
Okay, Whither.
She'll kind of cradle her face.
She looks up at you, and you can see that her face is coming like a bit paler. Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do?
Where did your mother like to go?
Asmo just kind of says.
She has to ponder. Oh. She said that when she feels lost, she'd go back to the Creator.
The Creator?
The one who gave us domains. She called him Fleetfoot.
Ah, my eyes. I wish you could see my facial expression right now, folks. Just, Fleetfoot.
I don't know where he is.
I'm sure we will find him. We have someone who's friends with him.
You can help me.
We're traveling north after this. And that's definitely in the right direction to where they are. So, if you and your,
Asmo just looks up at the giant golem. It's so big. It's so giant and looming and foreboding.
It just looks down at you.
At any given time, it's like a giant chimpanzee is right there, and I know at any given time how much power it could exert.
Yeah, it's just kind of like looming, like it has like this JoJo stance above you, but it's just looking at you.
Nick, remind me, Fleetfoot is in Hexwood?
Yes, he is Daniel Peaches in the Hexwood.
Daniel Peaches the cat. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay, thank you. I was starting to think, trying to remember who that was. I was like, they're not in the north, are they?
Do you know where the Hexwood is, Whither?
She thinks. I can talk to almost any tree. I could probably find it.
the ones from northwest of here.
Well, there's someone there named Daniel Peaches. And he can help you. Okay?
Okay. Is he nice?
Oh, yeah.
He's very nice.
Not just him.
Out of character, is Mother Maggie, is she still there?
Yeah, Maggie's there.
Not just them. Also Maggie.
And a tribe of goblins.
Mm-hmm. Her name is Maggie, and she's, well...
Very nice.
An old
She looks at
spirit of
Asmo like,
sorts. And a good soul of sorts. Met her at a very interesting time in my life, too. Oddly enough. So, she's telling the truth.
That's what nods to Nara.
Her eyes begin to well up with tears again. And she
Aw.
leans back into sobbing into you, Nara.
No, it's okay, dear.
You can tell even though this child is probably centuries older than you, she still hasn't had enough time to mature.
Asmo walks up to Wizard and goes,
You have good battle instincts, and you have good... Well, not just battle instincts, but... You know, Usually when someone puts their hand behind their back in a tense situation, it's nerve-wracking, but you pulled out one of the most surprising musical instruments I ever would have expected.
My Tegel harp, yes. When I was a boy, I would be fascinated by the tales and songs. So I took up the musical practices. Though I was still fascinated with swordplay and combat, this was always my first passion.
With
Never
her
lose
sniff.
it.
Oh, sorry.
Never lose it.
With
I
her
won't.
sniff. With her sniffles. I should probably apologize to Stinky Pig.
I don't think that'd be a bad idea.
He's probably mad.
Well, you could give a message and you could give to his
Well,
Oh.
how about this? We need to go in and talk to the stinky pig. So, what if you came with us and could tell him sorry yourself?
She looks at you, her eyes just still welled with like icy, crystally tears, and she nods. Will you hold my hand?
Of course.
And she takes her hand and kind of looks up at B-Rock and gives him a little nod, like, we're going to go inside, so chill.
Foom, foom, foom. And he stands over here because he will not fit in the cavern.
Right.
Asmo turns to Wizen.
Well, I can't ask you to join us. We did thank you for coming with us on this little saunter. I'll be honest with you, what's in the cave might be a bit jarring to your senses. So, you join us.
I've never let danger stop my wanderlust from taking me places before, so
Well,
I
you
see
know
no
what,
reason
there's
not
always...
to join you.
Well, everyone finds their red line eventually.
Asmo just kind of smiles.
I suppose I
Nara,
will have
like-
to discover if this is it.
Jabs Asmo.
There is no way he's leaving your side right now. Just so you know, no way.
There's no way she's leaving your side right now, just so you know.
She has a very firm grip for what appears to be like a 7-year-old.
Oh, my lord.
All right, you each enter the cave. Lord, who was the first to enter, the immediate issues that you noticed are the fact that while these roots did in fact wither and die, many of them had wrapped their way around Festus and had shoved their way down his gullet.
He would have been spending this entire time trying to untangle Festus almost silently, cutting, clearing, as gently as he can, pull the vines out of his gullet.
Yep. Yeah. Between that and your ability to decompose dying matter, it's a fairly simple process, especially after life started pumping through them. Festus's gullet itself did a good job of making a lot of that turn to rot and decay. But the pig
I'm assuming
himself
it was a
is...
matter of filling it up with matter. It's just keep going, keep going.
Festus himself looks incredibly traumatized by the experience, having never dealt with this in the however many millennia he's been around.
Bit of a shock to his system.
But you all managed to enter as... the other thing. I guess go ahead and give me a perception check, as immediate notice would have been on Festus himself. But Lore, give me a perception check. Just
Nat
Lore.
20.
Oh
my god.
Oh, motherfuck.
I'm glad it was lore.
Yeah, Lore. The other immediate thing you would have noticed before going and immediately tending to Festus is the icy, frosty corpse set at his side.
What?
The
Oh.
dead body of a severely damaged what looks to be like, it looks very elven in shape, but it still gives off kind of like a almost like a permafrost like cold, even though its body is slowly but surely decomposing. It is very dead, though. Whither just kind of like closes her eyes as you guys enter, trying to keep her eyes away from where she left her mother.
I'm sorry, my signal's cutting out, I think.
He was cutting out for us too a little bit, actually.
Did I cut out for you guys? I'm sorry.
We got the gist of it, but yeah, you were cutting out every other word or so. We understood.
All right. Hopefully, Chad heard all of that, but yes, the corpse of the Archfey of Winter is sitting there, which Whither had hoped to supplant with life after ripping the pig asunder.
As you do.
Wyzen will remove his bright pink robe, and he will, seeing Whither shy away from it, he will just gently drape it over the corpse, just to keep it out of view.
Festus takes a few hearty, big breaths on every exhale. It's like it's like walking through a garbage dump in New York. It's just absolutely awful. Like this hot garbage breath.
You can almost see the
shudders. The best way to describe it is Asmo is also crying, but not because of how sad it is, but also because of that.
Wyzen shudders and just lets out a, oh my.
It's the air around Festus is actually painful to breathe for a lot of you.
I'm not gonna lie, I love a rot turtle. It's so fucking cool. I love it. A rot turtle.
Why, I am free of that curse.
And his eyes kind of glance around. And they rest on Whither for a moment.
Child of decay.
She hides her face kind of like behind you, Nara, like behind your hip.
Whither?
I'm sorry, Mr. Pig.
Your actions could have broken the logic of this land. Do you know what I represent?
You are death and decay. And on the inside, you are all death. That's where my mommy is.
Beyond my vessel is where all dead things go. Your mother is in grand company. All things die, child. Were you the ones who turned her from this path?
He glances at the rest of you.
She was. Asmo points at Nara.
Laura will point his lantern right at Nara.
Tango Muerte kind of like jingles at your side as he glances at you, Nara.
Hey.
He kind of like slumps up from his side where he was resting, and as he gets onto his like haunches and hooves, he towers above you at 20 feet, and he's about like 20, and he's like almost as wide as that as well as he looks down at you. This pig could swallow you in one bite.
You?
He glances you up and down.
It has been a while since there has been a true avatar of death.
A what?
Your connection to the Great Mother. You hold her power.
Hold it?
It seems to have touched you.
Well, yeah, not like I had a choice.
Few who have power often choose it. Those who deserve it most, often less.
He continues kind of like staring you over.
Out of character, do we know why the Ice Queen died?
Given what Whither has been saying,
Yeah,
it was
like, she mentioned
probably
there was an
related.
explosion?
It was probably related to Project Exodus.
Yeah, from everything that's been inferred, you can assume that it was the mother protected Whither from the massive explosion, which I do need to get this map updated to indicate the massive fuck-off crater that is now the overgrowth.
Essentially, the question would be like, her body's still all together though, essentially, and still.
It is fucked up. Like,
oh, it is clear that it suffered from an explosion then.
Yeah, it is in tatters. Like the limbs and stuff have remained attached. The only reason it is held together is probably due to the fact that this being was just immensely powerful.
Whither?
She looks to you, Asmo.
Your mother's body.
You can see her eyes welling with tears as you say that.
I'll take it to them outside. And from there, you can decide what...
Asmo's struggling because he's just trying to do his thing. And he looks over at the new bird boyfriend.
Would you be willing to help me?
Of course.
Asmo carefully grabs, the body in a very respectful manner.
Yeah, it's been dead for a while, so while the natural cold of its being has preserved it, the cold she emanates will no longer damage you.
Okay. So Asmo very carefully carries her body out with the help. Yeah. Oh.
You have had a very eventful week, little one. And you have a very long life ahead of you. We will meet again someday. But by then you will have lived a very long and full life. All things die, but not all ever truly live. As for you...
He looks back to you, Nara.
Yeah?
There appears to be conflict between you and the mother.
That's putting it lightly.
She crosses her arms and cocks a hip.
Tango Muerte jiggles a little.
I think there is time enough yet.
For what?
For you to grow closer to the mother. Should you choose.
And how do I do that?
It seems you've taken steps already. It was her that called you here, was it not?
Oh, yeah. The dreams with the screaming? So fun. Good step to bonding.
He closes his eyes for a moment.
I can't imagine it was fun to learn that one had been so deeply connected to her, without her knowledge, wielding a part of her very flesh.
Uh-huh.
But she wouldn't have reached out if she didn't trust you.
Ah, I see. Then why'd she make it so hard to talk to her? She barely checks in. I have to be the one to force it out of her.
Mother Death is not really one for true communication.
I know.
She has been alone for a very long time. Only with the dead can she truly relate and commune.
I mean, I guess we have that in common since I've almost died like a million times.
And you grow closer still. Perhaps a deeper understanding of her will
And I
glean
can
further knowledge.
Find that where?
If you wish, you may speak to me. Or talk to others who have been close to her as well.
Wait.
I have never truly met her, but we are bonded by purpose.
Okay, so what do you know about her?
I know that her gift is often seen as a curse, but it is an inevitability. It is one that we all share. Even I one day will cross that gate. I almost did a moment ago.
And Whither kind of like hugs onto your hip and kind of like shoves her face further into you out of both embarrassment and apology, I guess. Like she's you can tell regrets.
It's fine.
Indeed. You have the look of one who has dealt much death over their lifetime.
Yeah,
To-
kind of a startling amount when I think about it.
To be able to do so without malice is a tricky thing. You didn't hate everyone that you killed.
Nah. But I had to do it, you know?
And for some, death comes far too swiftly. Sickness, crime, tragedy. Death has many faces and many forms, but all end with the same result. There is no such thing as a good or bad death. Only a good or a bad life.
Wait. How did you become what you are if you're gonna die one day?
I was granted my station by Fleetfoot himself, along with my other brothers, the avatars of nature.
Is Fleetfoot the one that gives everyone those powers?
All those that have something to do with nature. Like the girl there.
Right.
Asmo comes back. I'm assuming if Wyzen wants to join as well.
Yeah, he'll return.
I handed the body off to the golem, which I wonder if
B-Rock.
B-Rock would just be like, take with her hand. I don't know.
He'd-
I wouldn't know.
He'd stand over it, stand guard over it.
But yes, one day I too will be consumed. At the very end of it all, even many of the gods themselves will likely die. And all that will remain will be Mother Death and her realm.
Huh. So,
Is there anything
you
else?
said other people knew her. I mean, Solomon's one for sure. But does anyone else know her?
There are those in his camp that devote themselves so strictly to her that they would willingly die just to meet her.
Oh no.
You mean the guide? I hate that guy.
If you have a name and a person to speak to, then unfortunately, yes. But if it's any solace, he'll die one day too.
Doesn't make me feel better.
Then you're on the right track.
Oh, stuff it. Oh, wait,
would
I guess
love-
that's a little too soon, actually.
No, you are quite right. I am very hungry.
Lore. Thank you for your help, Lore.
Lord gives a slow nod.
Yes, my child.
You did good work in bringing us to you as quickly as possible, taking care of all this.
For that, I would gladly reward you.
Oh, you're what now?
After a quick nap.
And he sloom a like with a mighty
Jesus.
boom, he slams down on his side, kind of sending like kind of a tremor through the cave.
That's it. That's it from him. Okay. He is
His-
out
his-
like a light.
No, his eyes are still like blinking. He just laid down.
If you ever wish to examine her realm for yourself, I could always use a snack.
No way. His breath is probably way worse. Well,
I think that's our cue to exit. The host falling asleep usually is.
Feel free to
Yeah.
return any time.
oh,
He's
Avatar of
The narrator did not say he fell asleep.
I know. That's our mistake.
He did the big slump and we just assumed.
Feel free to return any time, death-touched child. And
thanks. Big
you as
pig.
well, little one.
Nara pats her a little.
Asno nods to Lore. Lore.
Yes.
No, just nodding. It's just an acknowledgement.
He nods back. And he walks over slowly towards Whither and he crouches down.
She kind of holds her.
Sometimes-
She kind of holds her nose a bit.
Sometimes death isn't always the end. He reaches a hand out, producing an acorn.
It's also a beginning.
He waves his hand over it, and I cast Druidcraft, and I make the acorn sprout.
It cracks on its side, and a little sprout kind of curls out. And as you hand it to Whither, the leaf at the end of it turns yellow and falls from its sprout. She looks up at you, still holding her nose, and smiles.
If you wish to celebrate everything that she has been, I will be happy to assist you with that.
I might come back. I owe this whole place an apology. I heard it. But I need to go talk to Fleetfoot first.
Nice.
Think we can help them along the way, Nara?
Whither actually looks up at you with like big saucer-sized eyes. Please.
Looks like we'll be doing a little bit to the left before we head over to Wolfgang's place.
Yep. Gonna head to the Hexwood first.
And she looks down at Whither and like makes the happy, but oh god, man, dang it, okay, face.
She like, you can tell she needs a familiar face right now, just by looking at her.
She has yet to let go of Nara. Oh no.
All right. We'll go to the Hexwood together.
Hey, Wizen,
Yes.
how much in trouble would you get if you left the swamp?
About as much trouble as I got in the last couple of times I left. That is to say, not very much. Unless I wanted it.
Tell you
Want to
what.
watch Asmo be real cool as we go to the Hexwood?
That's not how
Oh, yes.
No.
Very
yeah.
much.
You should come. Laura, you can come too if you want.
Asmo's
She
nose
looks at Asmo
inverts.
like
Asmo's
she
nose
looks at
inverts.
Asmo. She looks at Asmo with a shit-eating grin and is like, if I have to adopt a child for this, so do you.
I'm not ready for this commitment.
There was I.
Lore gives a little bit of a, despite his grim appearance, Lore gives a bit of a happy turtle smile.
If I do believe that my place is here, but if my master would see it to accompany you for the time, I will follow. But if I'm needed here, then I must stay here.
Festus snores. He is now asleep.
Nara lulls her head from Festus over to Lore.
I think he's gonna be busy for a while.
How long does he typically sleep when he actually sleeps?
It depends. Sometimes it can be upwards of a week. Sometimes it's just a couple hours.
This may be fun.
Lore gives a little bit of a grin.
I'll give it a couple hours. If he doesn't wake up, I'd say I could follow you for a little bit, as long as I am able to return swiftly enough.
The Hexwood would be a very long way away for you. Probably further than you've ever traveled from the swamp.
Yep.
Join us at least to the borders of the swamp.
I can do that.
There you go.
Alright, you give what sort of a funeral you can to...
Oh, actually, I wanted to ask.
Would I don't know if it's Asmo will ask Nara this. I don't know what she wants to be done with her mother's body, but I don't know if she wants to have it buried in this swamp. Hex, maybe if big guy's okay with carrying her to the Hexwood, that might be the place to. I mean, Fleetfoot's there.
So.
Whither, what are you feeling about all that?
I don't know.
We'll take the body out of the swamp. I think it might be the best.
Yeah. Let's,
How far is the hexwood from here? How
Oh, it's a
difficult
while.
would it be to do that?
Big guy's gonna be carrying the body, though. To be fair.
On foot, it is going to take you probably about 5 days to get to Fallwood Barrow. An additional.
Yep, that's about right.
Yeah, you'd probably be able to reach the Hexwood by that evening.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's take her with us, and then maybe Fleetfoot can help us do a funeral. How about that?
Asmo looks to Whither. I don't know how to make this call. It's not my call to make.
She's looking at Whither, waiting for a response.
You're asking a child to plan a funeral. She's despondent.
She's asking if that's what she would like rather than the swamp.
She doesn't know.
Then
Like,
that's
she
what we'll do.
Yeah. And so
they
you
set out.
leave the swamp, Brock carrying Wither's mother, along with a new companion in Wizen, and Lore will accompany you to the edge of the swamp. And as you watch the most interesting group you've ever come across walk into the distance, Lore, you take one last look as they walk towards the setting sun, and you turn back to go tend to your master. And here's where we will end today's session.